to segment 3.6 on obtaining protection. Now, we've already covered the sections 3.6 and 3.7 in the textbook in our last lecture relating to ETS, but I hope that after you finish the lecture relating to segment 3.5 that you went back and actually read the case on ETS versus Katzmann. Again, I think it's a fascinating case that helps us to understand at what point do we have an idea versus an expression of the idea. Let's discuss now a little on obtaining protection. So first off, a few different questions. When is it actually created? Namely, when is protection actually created? And the protection is actually created once all the requirements are met. So that's at one level when that protection is actually get fixed. Namely, when originality is satisfied, and when the work of authorship and when fixation all have been satisfied at that moment is when a copyright is automatically fixed with the work. Additionally, there may be an additional level of protection that's affixed once it is actually registered with the Library of Congress. So there's actually, you would submit some formal documents to the Library of Congress, and that is how it is that it would actually go through. There is actually, in my notes here, it says a U.S. Copyright Office, but just recognize there is actually not an official copyright office. It's through the Library of Congress that copyright office in fact exists. So who owns a copyright? As we've discussed a little bit in the past with respect to works for hire, things of that nature, it is generally the person who either created the work or two, paid for the creation of the work. Can copyrights be divided or transferred? And the answer is absolutely. Much like tangible property can be divided or transferred in much the same way can you transfer or divide intangible property, copyrights being one of those. So when only some of the rights are actually being transferred, it is considered a license. And last but not least, how long does this copyright last? And it's 70 years after a person dies. So, but that being said, that also depends on when the work was created. If it was before 1978, there is actually different duration times that are affixed with the work. But generally speaking, in your mind, you should just think of it as you have the copyright protection during life plus an additional 70 years. Now, there are some potential exceptions to obtaining the protection. As we've discussed again, work made for hire seems to come up a lot, particularly with respect to copyright protection. An employee drawing, graphics, manuals written by technical writers, advertisements created by an agency, or even a brief written by an associate with a law firm. All those are different examples of works that are made for hire, but in short, the employer that is actually paying for that work is the person that would have the copyright protection. Joint authors, much like other forms of intellectual property, would have an equal undivided interest. Now, collective works, such as an encyclopedia, the authors may retain a copyright over their original work, namely the contribution, but the compiler, the person that is actually putting all of these little pieces together, also might have a copyright over the entire work in aggregate. Last but not least, that there may be some exception if an author actually assigns the copyright to someone or something else.